from the windward to the leeward side. On the island, we do it island.
Cell phones are off?
In the car.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching Rise Above Hawaii. And I'm Dr. Kimo, your host, and we're back in the studio. Last week we was up there at the Hilo Medical Center talking about our great medical center and the improvements they're making there. And today we just want to bring it back home and want to have a real talk story on health, on life, on marriage, anything and everything. I got Andy here. Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know you brought your wife. Thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Andy Leo, and this is my wife, Patricia Leo, Pat. And we live down in Kapoho. We've been on the islands for since '74. We moved over to the Big Island from Kauai in '79. We live down in Kapoho. Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
And we're in the art business. Patricia's an artist, and I'm her business manager and everything else. Go for. And we're here to discuss, I guess, health.
There you go. And you know, art. I mean, art's health. I mean, you know what I mean. We dedicated this 1 year. I wanted to make sure I get music, because music, you know, there's music therapy now, but there's even art therapy.
Yes.
And it's soothing for the soul, I think. So Patricia, you're the artist.
Yes.
And he's your manager.
He's my manager and my support system.
Yeah, that's great. So how did you get involved in art?
I've always been involved in art ever since I was a young child.
Yeah.
And just have always loved to draw or paint, whatever I could get my hands on, crafts.
That's great. That's great. I know in our field, in the field of psychology, you know, with children who are not very verbal, you know, they use art as a way to kind of get a better understanding of what they're feeling and maybe their thought process. And it's interesting because it's something that's relatively new. You know, evidence-based practices have now saying that it's something that is good for kids in a way of expression. Do you think so, Du?
Of course, of course. I think that this is something that's actually, I think we all know that art soothes the soul. And I actually do teach art once a week at Malama Lama Waldorf School in Paradise Park. And I'm very happy to be able to do that, because for me, to be with the children, it's a release for them as well as myself. We all have a lot of fun together. And, you know, I really believe there's not enough art in schools. Yes. And so I'm really thankful I get a chance to share it with the kids. And there's definitely a time for everyone to just be themselves in the class and express themselves in their own way, and it's really an important thing.
I think so, and our research is suggesting it as well.
Oh, it's true.
Brain, right brain thing.
Right.
It's absolutely true. Yeah. Children enjoy it.
Yes, yes.
It's important to enjoy life.
Yes, and I'm a promoter and advocate of music and art, not just for community engagement and connection, but for health reasons.
Sure.
I think it brings not just good mental health, but it also brings good well-being.
It helps you to be a whole person.
There you go. I like that. No wonder you're married, Patricia. So, but Andy has a fascinating life as well. He's been all over. You want to share a little bit of, I know you and Rosie are friends from the 60s, or?
From the 70s.
Okay, so you came to Hawaii. What, you just left the mainland? You didn't like it there? What's the deal?
Well, I had been to Hawaii 3 or 4 times working as a tour manager of a rock and roll band, the Young Rascals.
The Young Rascals.
In case a lot of people don't know who they are, they did Groovin' and People Gotta Be Free and Good Lovin'.
It's a beautiful morning.
That's on commercials a lot.
So we came to Hawaii every year in the mid-60s, 66, 67, 68, and in 74 I was without work and without any future plans. Okay. So I said, I'm going to Hawaii. If I'm going to start something new here, I'll start something new there.
That's incredible.
But my entrance into Hawaii was, I went to Kauai, North Shore, up in the Haiena area, and met friends and lived in Taylor Camp for a couple of years, which was a treehouse community at the end of the road where we lived in bamboo framed houses with plastic roofs and
That
things
takes
like
courage, you folks. I mean, basically, you're just getting up, you're leaving, and you're saying, whatever the future holds for me, I'll embrace it.
Yes.
Basically, mom and dad, not in the picture at the time, they're probably saying, where are you going, son? And you're saying, Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I had been traveling for years with the band already,
Oh,
so,
okay, okay.
you know, I left the house a while back. But we went from here.
Wow. Well,
We met in Taylor Camp,
oh, okay.
and in '79 we moved over to the Big Island, bought some property in Kapoho, and we've been there since.
That's great.
35 years now.
You know, one of the things that attracted me to this couple, not for the fact that they've been married for almost 35 years.
35.
35 years, and I just did a segment on love and marriage. You know, and I was talking about the components that keep relationships strong. And would you want to share a little bit? What you guys married for that long? I mean, 35 years. That's a long time together.
I could tell you a boring joke. No. Jeez, what does it?
Actually, it's gone by quick.
Really?
It's gone by quick. I
It's
think
been
it.
easy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know, we fell in
That's it right there. You see?
That's it right there.
That's right there.
Well-
There's this partnership. You know, he doesn't have to be the guy who talks all the time. Men, take notice. He says, "Honey, you go ahead." You see?
That's right. But he does his share of interrupting, too. No, you know, life has been pretty comfortable for us as far as our relationship, and we've had plenty of bumps in the road.
Oh.
Every family does. But the truth is, because we love each other, we've gone through everything together, and we enjoy being together.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of humor in our relationship.
Yeah. That's one of the key components. Is that you gotta laugh at things.
Yep.
Number one, you have to have some physical attraction or some kind of attraction to
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find ways to be creative, intimate. You gotta have fun. You gotta make time. All of that. So would you say that that's true?
Definitely. Fun is. I'm all about it. I like it very much.
We've had a lot of fun.
No, I was gonna say, you know, not to get too heavy or too deep or anything, but you know, we have a lot of mutual beliefs, spiritually, and politically, and family-wise, and we're both vegetarians.
Yes,
So
yes.
our diet is, you know, we're working on our diet all the time,
Yeah.
and what other things?
Well, that's what I wanted to.
Now we get
Get
into health.
Yeah, because you know when I first spoke to you folks off the air, you have a very interesting life, the Rascals, and you live in Kapoho, and how you guys went to Kauai, and that's all cool and all. But what was interesting to me is we never had vegetarians on, and there's a lot of myths, if you will, about vegetarians and the different types, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about that because this guy is almost, I don't want to. I mean,
I'll be 70 in October.
I mean, he's strong.
If that matters.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. You know, so, and earlier I had a person on my show by the name of Dr. Sally Boyd, and she's a naturopath.
Yeah,
and
out of Paho.
Yeah.
And we have a friend who sees her.
Oh, and she was great. And
Yep.
she talked a little bit about how, I mean, food intake, that tells the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What we put in our bodies, basically, you know, if it's good, it has good consequences.
It's pretty basic.
I mean, it's bad consequences. So how did you become vegetarian? Is this something that you chose? Is it something that your parents influenced you on? Tell us a little bit about that, Andy.
Well, I became a vegetarian in '68. I was traveling with the Rascals, and we brought with us on our Hawaii tour. We're living we're staying in a nice house on the Diamond Head Road, and we brought with us Swami Satchidananda,
Who's
an
that?
Indian guru.
Oh.
And the Hindus propose vegetarianism all the time. And we spent a couple of weeks with him, and he kind of schooled us into vegetarianism and yoga and meditation and all kinds of practice, things like that. And at that point, I became vegetarian, quit smoking, and gave up drinking. I was indoctrinated, kind of. I got convinced,
Yeah.
that basically the theory that your body is a temple and you should be taking care of your body, because it's not necessarily how long you're going to live, but it's more the quality of your life when you're older.
I see.
Is what you're going for.
Okay, so you're not going for the 105-year-old centenarian.
That we have there's no control over that. I could walk out of here and get hit by a car, so that, you know.
But what you're going for is quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I still feel good, and hopefully it's from my vegetarianism and my yoga. And Pat is the same way, and we have these like beliefs.
Okay.
And another part of it is something that's referred to as ahimsa,
What's that?
which means nonviolence.
Oh.
So the concept of being nonviolent to the other members of our life forms on the planet is also part of the philosophy of vegetarianism, as well as health. It's actually more for that than it is for health.
Oh.
So, you know, getting along with all our other creatures
Right.
helps us to get along with all our other humans,
Yeah.
creatures.
Yeah, I like that. I
And,
mean, I'm a big fan of diversity.
It's a big part of it.
I think that we need to figure out how to connect despite our ethnic, geographic, race differences, even
Yeah.
political differences sometimes.
But vegetarian is not necessarily for everybody, so, you know, I mean, it's fine. Everybody,
Yeah.
I mean, you eat what you want, you know, so it's fine.
But
That was my choice.
But yeah, that was your choice. And how about you, Pat? Same thing? Same reasons?
Different. We came to the vegetarian lifestyle maybe in two different paths.
Okay.
I wasn't with Andy when he was in Oahu with Swami. I never liked eating fish. All my life, I never cared for
really?
it.
Okay.
Never,
East Coast fish.
never liked it. And then when I lived in Kauai those first years, I didn't, you know, you don't have access to eating meat that often. And so it was easy to drop that. And the truth is, I don't really, I feel a gentleness towards animals and creatures, and I'm not interested in hurting them. So it was easy for me to let meat fall away from my diet. And there's plenty of wonderful food you can eat without eating meat.
People ask us all the time, if you don't eat meat, what do you eat?
Yeah.
Everything else. There's all these other foods that people are not eating
Okay.
because they eat meat.
The big I guess thought out there is, well, meat, that's where you get your protein from, and so if you're not eating meat, then how are you getting your protein? And I mean, you look fit to me. You look like you got protein. Tell us a little bit about.
Well,
clarify
we're
that myth
we're
for us.
lacto-ovo, I guess is the classification that you give us as vegetarians. We eat dairy, cheese, we have milk, and we eat eggs. We don't eat fertilized eggs, but we eat eggs as well. So there's a lot of protein in the eggs and in the cheese
Yeah.
and beans and tofu, and there's protein in all kinds of vegetables, and it's just if you accumulate that and you put that in your diet and all your meals, you're getting protein. Probably most people are over protein.
I agree. I agree. It's amazing. You know, I think if kids, adults visit a slaughterhouse, because we used to own a ranch, and I remember one time my dad took me to the slaughterhouse and I was watching. I didn't want to eat meat for like ever after that. Just watching the whole thing and thinking, wow. And the idea that we really don't need meat,
No, you certainly don't.
that's amazing.
You certainly don't
There's,
need it.
there's propaganda out there.
To live a healthy life, you
Well,
don't need it.
I also imagine that meat 30 to 50 years and back was a lot better than it is now. I mean, the word is out, you know, factory farming and antibiotics, and they're living on corn instead of grass, and they're not supposed to be eating corn. They get sick, so they give them antibiotics so they don't get sick.
And whatever they give the cows, they give us.
That's right. The quality is not that good. I mean, we're not a healthy country just because we eat a lot of meat.
I know. But there's a lot of advertisement on meat.
Oh yeah,
McDonald's and all of this fast foods. And
yeah, it's all lobbying. It's just it gets right back to our government and everything else. But we don't want to go there.
our roads, we've got to
Okay. And the other thing is, I am also a diabetic.
Wow.
So I'm not immune from
Okay.
getting
From
something.
issues.
Whatever there's diabetes off, I'm what they call type 2. I don't need to take insulin. I need to watch my sugar intake.
Oh, so being a vegetarian doesn't necessarily preclude from having health issues like too much sugar.
Some stuff is genetic, and you know it gets triggered off. It's only been 3 years now for me, so I made it to 67 before I got diabetes, but I did get it.
Okay.
And being a vegetarian is very close to the diet that I need to control my blood sugar, although that sounds a little contradictory because I caught it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, because you can be a vegetarian and still eat desserts, right?
well, I just gave up the desserts.
Okay.
And my desserts are, I'm very discriminated about it. You know, Pat will give me the high sign when we're someplace, go,
That's the one.
this is the good one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
homemade, it's, you know, it's not sugar from the store and stuff like that. And I'd like to say for everybody that a very good diet for a diabetic is a vegan diet, which we lean a little more towards now
Okay,
since
share
the
that
diabetes.
Share that vegan diet with us. What is that?
Well, the vegan diet is mostly non-animal products. So they don't have any cheese, they don't have any milk, and they don't have any honey, let's say, because
Oh.
honey is an animal product, even though
Okay.
just honey.
Oh.
But it's more raw foods, you know, green smoothies, you know, kale smoothies and things
Oh,
like that,
okay.
which Pat is excellent at. Pat is actually my dietitian. She's a great cook and can whip up a vegetarian meal in no time.
And take
That's good for you and tastes excellent. She's got a very good reputation.
that's the key. When Yay!
No one turns down an invite.
Oh, really? When I was in Nebraska going to school, I tried to not eat meat. And that was both chicken and all meat. And so we did veggie burgers, tofu. Just because I wanted to try something different, I was sick of meat. And I think I lasted like maybe 8 months, almost a year. But the hard part was finding foods that taste can still get that quality in taste. So I wasn't a very good vegan chef. But there is ways to eat. And you just
Sure.
have to be skilled at it, right?
Every religion and every nationality has a vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look, there's vegetarian cookbooks galore.
I know. Even for Native Hawaiians, there's the Waianae diet, which is I mean, they have some meat, but it's a totally opposite proportional, you know. And,
Sure.
And even biblically, I think they said, you know, meat should be eaten sparingly, if anything, if you're gonna, you know. So.
Well, the Hawaiians didn't have the pigs or the
Yeah.
everything, the deer or everything else until it was brought over. So basically, they were vegetarians, other than eating fish out of the sea,
Right.
which I'm sure a couple of hundred years ago, the fish were in a lot better shape than they are
They didn't
now.
have the single tario.
I'm sure they had better fish than we're getting.
Yeah. You want to add anything? I know you're the cook for the vegan diet. You want to add anything to? I mean, is it true?
Well, I think that to your point about the trying to be a vegetarian and trying find something that would
Yeah.
make you feel like you're eating
Yeah.
food that you like. I think there's always a lot of stress involved in trying to become a vegetarian and giving yourself substitutes. I think you have to just walk away from that whole wish and urge to have a meat substitute. I want to have, because you know, a lot of times people will buy the veggie burgers from the freezer department at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of fake meat,
Yeah.
and it's fun and it's entertaining. But the truth is, it's really totally full of chemicals, and it's totally processed. You're just eating a processed food item. And the truth is, you're better off staying away from that. If you want a veggie burger, you open a recipe book or go on Google and find a recipe of how to put together a veggie burger. And it's just a question of, you know, getting thick things mixed with a little egg and just pat it together and fry it. You know, there's a lot of ways to make yourself something if you feel you have to have that burger thing. But as far as vegetarian food goes, there's a really wide variety of food that is totally satisfying. I think people oftentimes are eating food or have this urge to eat food that they feel they need, and they're not really being conscious of how much food they need to be satisfied. And you don't, if you kind of, since he got diagnosed with diabetes, and really it was a diagnosis, the truth is, we don't know how long he might have been nurturing this.
Oh, I see.
You know, they say, you know, you could go undiagnosed for a long time. And the first thing he did to let go, to get a grip on the whole high sugar level was cut out juice. We were doing a lot of Lilikoi juice. Cut it out completely.
Oh, wow.
Cut out soda.
Oh, the soda.
Cut out.
Hey, a soda friend.
I really, really believe that soda and juice and anything sweet, even carrot juice is really high sweet.
Yeah.
And so you're pretty much just driving sugar right into your bloodstream with all sweet liquids.
Yeah, soda.
And it's really
yeah.
easy access to your body to just go, yeah, sweet
Oh,
liquid.
dear.
And there goes your blood sugar level right up.
Wow.
And, you know, we've definitely cut back on carbs. He's an Italian. We've spent our lives eating pasta on Sundays. We cut that out. We have pasta once a month now.
Okay.
It's really important to moderate.
Pasta's processed too, yeah?
Well, yeah. It's not as
make
heavily
my own
processed as other things, because he makes his, when we do have pasta, he makes it from scratch.
How do you make pasta from scratch?
Oh, you want a lesson on that?
I thought pasta was made in a factory.
Do we have
No,
time?
that's a lesson, but he makes pasta. He makes lasagna, he makes ravioli. So it's quality rather than quantity.
Yeah.
So when we do have pasta, we try. I keep pasta on hand. Once in a
Yeah.
while I will use it. But the thing is, it's just understanding all the components of what you're eating and including much more live raw vegetables and cooked vegetables into your diet. And that's what we had to do, even though we were vegetarian for all those years. We had our share of carbohydrates, and we still do, but we're selective.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up making my own bread. I have slowed down on the pies and the cookies.
Yeah.
You know, I had to slow down somewhere, but we do love our toast. So, you know, it's really important not to deny yourself too harshly,
Yeah.
but to allow yourself to have, you know, certain guidelines to carry on when you get the diagnosis.
I think it's hard. I think we're addicted to food, certain foods, you know.
Yeah, we are.
So it's,
Sure.
it's like an addiction. I mean, you have to really rid yourself, I mean,
But
from some of this.
lots of people are not really eating the foods that their parents ate. I mean, a good point is that the key is to eat real food.
What is real food?
Real food is, you know, vegetables and lettuce and fresh beans and stuff like that. Most of us are all eating processed foods.
So once those foods go to some factory, it's not real anymore.
If your grandmother went to the supermarket after not being there for many years, she wouldn't recognize anything in the store. We used to get our food instructions from our grandparents and our parents, but now we get all our food ideas from the television.
Okay, I get the real food concept when it comes to lettuce and tomatoes, and because you can pick it off. If you
Well,
can't, if you
soup.
can't pick it somewhere.
Soup and beans.
But tell me
and,
how.
you know,
What else can be real food?
Well, think about the processed foods. When
canned foods.
Like, how can bread be real food? Is that real food?
Sure it is.
Sure.
Sure it is.
Using whole grains.
Oh, using whole grains. I got you.
You want to take
Okay.
back the amount of, you want to, I mean, for us, and I can't talk for anyone else, but for us, we try to eat as little processed as possible.
Brown rice instead of white rice, that kind of thing. Whole wheat bread
For
instead
sure.
of processed bread.
For sure. I do
Brown
like to
sugar,
make
if anything.
bread with white flour now and then.
If you're going to eat meat, eat grass-fed cows instead
Yeah.
of corn-fed cows.
Ah,
I mean, and I don't want to get into the biology of a cow, but cows are not supposed to eat corn. They're supposed to eat
Oh,
grass.
really?
That's how they convert their meat to protein.
see, and if you stay local, you'll probably have
Exactly.
Yes, that's
cow that
it,
eats
right.
Keep that grass-fed beef.
You know, you eat meat until you don't eat meat. There's nothing wrong with eating meat if you want to eat meat, but eat better meat.
Okay.
And then by eating,
And better chicken, folks.
have your salads. When I first started as a vegetarian, I tried to eat with color.
Okay.
Yeah, I made sure I had red and green and orange and
Those are
peppers
colorful. I
and,
like that.
and stuff like that. If you're eating lots of colors, then you're getting a decent meal, I think.
Okay. I really like that being a vegetarian or choosing a lifestyle that is a healthy lifestyle by what you're eating, it's almost like a religion. I mean, you got to really believe it, you got to practice it.
Well, life is a religion.
Life is a philosopher. To tell us why is that? Life is a religion.
Why? Jeez. I got to
Now
get
you
into
got to
that. huh?
explain yourself.
Well, I think people behave dependent upon their relationship to their spiritual
There you go.
concept.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a certain concept of the Creator or whatever name you want to call it, God, whatever, Allah, Jehovah, whatever it is, your relationship to whatever that is in your mind is how you behave.
And how you behave includes how you eat, how you interact with people, how
Exactly.
you treat people, how you treat animals.
Exactly.
The whole thing.
Exactly.
I like that.
I
Explain
mean,
that. That was good.
it's very interesting with all the religions how all the religions are saying my God's better than your God.
Yeah.
But in reality, they all also say there's only one God.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that your God is better than my God, you're creating two gods. We're really just calling them by different names
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
different
I like that.
interpretations. I mean,
Yeah.
there's four of us here in the room. You can't see that guy. None of us have the same interpretation.
That's right. And so somewhere along the lines we need, and that's why I think somewhere along the lines we need to accept the fact that we can accept each other's spiritual, differences, but somewhere along the line we gotta connect.
We have to connect on our likenesses, not our differences.
there you
That's what
I think-
that's what I've read. No, that's what I've been studying and learning.
This is great. When I met them off camera, I said, "You got to be on the show because you have an interesting life. You're almost 70. You look great. Patricia, you look great. You have a great philosophy.
I'm not almost.
She's not almost 7.
It doesn't matter. You look great regardless.
Just so that you know.
Keep the record straight out there. It's a
You
very
guys laugh
sad-
together. You're a great couple. You guys give off great energy. You're smart, and we're just, I think Big Island's really lucky to have you folks. And-
Hey,
and
we're
your
lucky to be on the
artists.
Big Island.
Okay. Any final words of wisdom for our viewers?
Hey,
From the guy who was came in because of the rascals.
what can I say? Be nice, be good. Concentrate on your breath and think about what you're doing. That's
I
all.
like that. Breathing. And Patricia?
Breathing's important.
How do I sum it all up?
The word for today?
Stay happy. Keep an open heart.
I like that. Keep it open hearted, folks. We love you, Big Island. Have a great weekend. Aloha.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
On the island, we do it island style. From the mountain to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side.